just a dream, more than Tarzan and wild animals.
Once people hear you're African, they're like, "Oh, you're African."
I wouldn't tell
Do you guys wear clothes over there? Is that good?
You guys have houses?
You guys have houses?
You see on the trees?
That's how you speak? No.
And now I love it. Guys be like, "Yo, you're from Africa, mommy."
So
Because you learn as you got older. You're not ignorant anymore.
Sure,
and you're not ignorant.
When you think about Africa, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Famine, poverty, drought? Maybe war or conflicts over blood diamonds. Conflicts over anything. Africa has been framed as a place where problems run amok and Africans as people incapable of even governing themselves. Essentially, Africans and Africa have been reduced to a pile of problems. The only time you might hear Africa mentioned is when tribal happens to be all the rage on the catwalk. For years, the fashion industry has perpetuated a westernized ideal of what to wear and what not to wear. Can you name any African designers? If not, you're not alone. As we left the Bronx and sped up the West Side Highway to Manhattan, all of this was going through our heads. People don't even put Africa and fashion in the same sentence. We were about to meet a powerhouse who put Africa and fashion in the same week.
When I realized that it wasn't something that was done, I started to do research and try to figure out why. Is it because the industry that we're in doesn't really accept or give us a supporting platform? We applaud Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week. I always say you have to kneel to your elders, and I do believe that they are our elders. However, I feel that Africa was restricted within the specific shows that were being previewed at Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week. You had about 4, 6, 7, 8 designers showing in a tent, and I felt that really wasn't giving everybody what they needed, that injection as to what Africa is all about and the designers. So I really believe that Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week should have done a better job in giving us a larger platform to showcase people of diversity, not just Africans, but just really focus on allowing that that refreshing breeze come through their tent. They really need it. And because of it, it will inspire more designers, and it will inspire this unity that we have here. Because, I mean, it's not only this color that you will see come to Africa Fashion Week. A lot of people relate to the diversity aspect, just feeling as though they're not fully represented, and they want something to believe in, and they want to be a part of something that represents them.
You've done Africa Fashion Week in Dallas, but what does that mean for you?
For me, it's actually a real big compliment, and it's really an honor to be able to do it, because I'm representing not only myself but a country and their garments, which they take very much pride in. Especially the colors, the garments, everything, the whole outfit. It means a lot to the African designers, and for me, just to be able to. For somebody to say, "Hey, we want you to model our clothes," is a big honor for me. So I take modeling very seriously, very seriously.
I think it shows that, the diversity, since I'm Asian, but I feel very welcome, and I'm very excited to be a part of this great fashion event, especially for Lindsay Jones as a designer, and I'm just super excited and honored to be here.
You oftentimes hear about New York having a fashion week, Paris having a fashion week. It's honestly, it's a Caucasian and European driven industry. It's very rare that you hear about Africa being the forefront of fashion. So I think it's a shove into the future of how things, or where things are headed. It's a completely different and interesting look. It's not couture. It's not something that we've seen before. It's a different point of view. It's something that's been going on for a long time, but it's just now showing its face to the world. I think it's a great thing.
Fashion Week to be something that's done like the annual Fashion Weeks of New York. I think it's going to be a great opportunity for African designers and people who make African clothing. And I just think it's a great opportunity for African models as well, because we're not the typical, well, some people are about size 1, but some of us have curves. We have natural curves, natural beauty. So I'm really happy that it's going to be showing on African Fashion Week.
How close to the typical African model would you say you are? Or is there a typical African model?
There's not a typical African model. I just feel as though you can tell when you see an African model because of her bone structure or her skin complexion. I just believe that African models, we have natural beauty and we have natural cheekbones and natural, natural beautiful faces. So I feel like I fit an African woman who was trying to model.
Gotta keep the music jumping.
How important is it to see models of color, specifically black models, on the runway?
It's utterly important because it's almost non-existent right now.
Right.
So just as far as African Fashion Week, these designers, us models, we've been here, but we haven't been able to get the platform necessary. So now we're in a position to create our own platform. So that's tremendously important.
Yeah, totally agree.
So what's next? We have this. What do you think is next, or the next step?
To continue to follow our individual passions, but also find ways to merge those passions with other people who come from the same space that we come from, whether it be the designers, whether it be the photographers, whether it be other models. The most important thing is to remember that working by ourselves, we only can go but so far. When we work as a team, there's nothing that's impossible for us.
The last day of fitting, but thus far everything's been going very, very well. We had some delays with designers showing up on time because of flight delays, but thus far everything's been on point. Designers have been awesome, the models have been great, so that's been very helpful also. But yeah, so far so good. Can't complain.
Heaven, angels, unicorns, and pots of gold.
I wanted to go to FIT, my senior year after I graduated from high school, and my parents were not supportive at all. They basically told me, do not do it, you will fail. And, I got discouraged. I was young, I didn't have that mindset I had now, that I don't care, I'm going to do what I feel passionate about. So I went to school for 4 years doing human resources. I got my MBA in finance and accounting. But at the end of the day, I had to do what I was most passionate about. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm still doing my finance, but at the same time, I'm pursuing my dream. Mm-hmm. It was very difficult to get my parents to understand that. But now they're very supportive. I mean, they're coming to the show on Friday, African Fashion Week show. They're going to be there front row center supporting me, cheering me on. And, that is, I think, the thing that makes me the most happy is to know that now I have their full support.
So what do you say to those people who look at you and say, why are you in Africa Fashion Week? You're not African, far from it.
The thing is, not far from it. I'm as African and more African than 99% of the people here today. I was born in South Africa. My parents were both born in South Africa. I was raised in the country. I lived there for 28 years. I was immersed in the culture. of it. I speak the languages. I eat the food. I am your true quintessential African American. I showed an interest in fashion when I was like a 3-year-old little boy. I was at an uncle's wedding, saw a bride, and I was gone. And every time I had a pen or a pencil, I was drawing a bride. And my parents, and I thank God every day for them, saw that little seed and they watered it every day and encouraged me from that point. When I was about 16, I did an aptitude test at school. Very expensive aptitude test just to determine what we should each be doing. And the aptitude test showed me to be both a fashion designer and a lawyer. That was where... So I went to tell my father this, and I thought I'm going to be honest, because I was honest with him. And I thought he was going to jump on that. And he said to me, I'm sure you'd make a great lawyer, but will that make you happy? Will you ever be as passionate about the law as you are about fashion? He says, you might be happy for a few years. You might feel superior for a few years. But fashion is what will fuel you for the rest of your life. So no, my parents didn't drive me up a different wall. They drove me up the wall where they felt I should go based on my desires, my talents, what interested me. And they've never looked back. In South Africa, what I loved about that country and still love about it is you're not raised or educated with tunnel vision. You learn to explore all avenues, all facets, and that's the great part about it.
Yeah. Oh. All right.
You know, if you want to go back in history, if you look at the musical influences, you know, we've always used or utilized music as a way to bring our people together, and that has worked to a certain part or aspect of the culture itself. But we think or we believe that, you know, fashion itself is a big integration of the culture itself, and why not, you know, utilize that as also a means of bringing our people together. What 54 Kingdoms does is not just clothing; it's something that's more of a movement.
Number 54 stands for number of countries in Africa, and the word kingdom just goes to pretty much show the whole Pan-African movement. You don't have to be in Africa to be part of 54 Kingdoms. You can be from the West Indies, in the West Indies, you can be in the Americas, the Asia, Europe, as long as you believe in your African ancestry. As long as you love African clothing, you name it, food, you're part of that larger kingdom. So hence 54 Kingdoms. And our motto is
identity through fashion, which means we just don't design just to design, we design to educate, motivate, and empower. So everybody wearing our piece can actually educate you on exactly what design is on the piece itself. We do a great job of educating our consumers so they can also go out there and educate the rest of the world. When people become part of a movement, when people have one mind, they can change the rest of the world. So we're utilizing fashion as a means of bringing our people together. And believe it or not, we're not only just educating our fellow African brothers and sisters, but we're touching the rest of the world, because there's a lot of people that want to know more about Africa but have no idea where to start, how to connect. It could be, you know, disassociation like you said, but you know, we're doing a very good job of bringing people together through our fashion, and so far it's been pretty good.
Teachers, philosophers, preachers, what they trying to teach us. Hustlers.
My name is Yemi, and Yemi Oshunkoya, and the name of my label is Kosiva. I'm based in London, United Kingdom, and I specialize in couture, bridal and evening wear. And what I specialize is figure enhancing gowns. So regardless of what shape the person is, tall, short, slim, you know, whatever size, what I try to do is to recreate the hourglass figure and get curves in to, you know, to just flatter whoever's wearing my gown. The dress I'm actually steaming now was created for an event called Face of Africa that was held in Lagos earlier on in the year, and the model I created it for went on to win Face of Africa, so it's quite a special dress to me. I was born in Nigeria, but I've lived in England for the last 22 years. every day I wake up, I am very grateful that I was very lucky to have forward-thinking parents. Their attitude was, whatever you're good at, do it to the best of your ability. Now, I came into design because I could draw. From a very young age, my father was a medical doctor, professor. My mom was a nurse. We didn't have a sewing machine at home, but I had this talent to draw, and it was nurtured and encouraged. And when it came to the age where I wanted to decide what I wanted to do, and I said I wanted to do fashion, they were like, fine, go for it. Just make sure, you know, you try and do it to the best of your ability. And way back then, that was not the normal response. So I'm very, very lucky, which is why the name of my label is called Kosiba, and that's my mother's name. She's originally from Republic of Benin, and Kosiba is the day name given to a female child born on a Sunday. So it was almost like an homage to her day, why I chose that name.
I come from an artistic family. My mom and dad, they are all artists. All my brothers and sisters, they are artists. So when I was growing up, I grew up in like seeing my brothers painting. So most of the time I was there watching them. And then we had so many like machines at home for my grandma. And everyone was allowed to go on the machine. So it was, I was just playing in the first place. I was just trying to see on the machines if I could use them, try to sew something and try it on my board and see if it fits. And that's where I picked the interest. And eventually people started telling me I was great. I didn't know I was great. I tried to make my artwork wearable. And I apply artwork on my clothes. That's my identity. Something that makes it different from the rest of the designers. I have showcased in so many different places. It's my first time to showcase in New York, and I think it's a platform for me. It's a way of like advertising for my brand. It's publicity for me, and I feel so great to be part of it.
The river flows down.
The government needs to see that these designers, these professionals, whether it's entertainment, whether it's fashion, professionals that are coming and trying to transcend, they need to give them that platform as well. So it's so many elements, so many people that have to be involved and connected. And hopefully by providing this platform that will facilitate that type of communication, that type of stimulating conversation. Politicians, production and sourcing, investors, PR companies, whomever, they need to come together and understand what the designer's needs are and the environment that the designer is in. The designer can be an amazing designer and things can sell like wildflower. But if they have no light, no electricity to send a simple email, what's going to happen?
Get you far from the star, you're the galaxy that you are. You're my energy to the top. You inspire me, beautiful. You are the reason I count stars at night. I dream of your face, the clouds out of sight. It's clear to me that you're my shining light. So beautiful you are. Let's go. From the start, you're the galaxy that you are. You're my energy to the top.
There's so many things we can do to bring out the country. If a leader was there and did bad, of course that is gone and it's not going to come back. What we are trying to do now is just to create a good image for our country. See how we can attract tourism in our country. Try to make sure that people appreciate what we have. Forget about what happened from the past. I know a lot is happening, and last Sunday there was a tragedy, but it's just like any other country. No country is perfect.
You know it's going to be a success. And, just the amount of buzz that's around it right now, it is totally going against everything that's normal. It's just going out there and doing something different. And for that reason, we know it's going to be successful. African Fashion Week is the debut. It's actually the debut of our first line. So it's very important to us. We're grateful for the platform and Adiat, which did a great job organizing everything. And we know it's going to be a success. So
we don't entertain the failure part. There's no failure.
Yeah. We're not just here to entertain you with whatever you call tribal wear, traditional wear. We're here because we want to be taken seriously as entrepreneurs. We want to be placed in shops. We want people to buy from us. Okay. Diane von Wertensberg was not the first to create print. Okay, we've been doing print for a long time. Thank you, Diane, I love you. But we've been doing print for a long time. And it's now time for people to actually buy from us too. And it's time for the platform to be given to them for them to sell. And that's what African Fashion Week is here to
do. You're my energy to the top. You inspire me, beautiful.